weeks. He said, I'm going to start doing it because it got big. Welcome back, everybody, to today's episode of Clicks and Bricks. My name is Ken. Today is August 10th, 2021. On Clicks and Bricks every day, we talk about business and technology. If you like business and technology, smash that like and subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to send us an email to info@clicksandbricks.tv. Is that right, Chris? No, clicksandbricks@hosterian.com. We probably need to change that to a clicksandbricks.tv email address sometime soon. Anyway, if you like business and technology, click that like and subscribe. Send our comments, questions, anything you have to that email address, and we will be sure to try to answer them. If you would like to join my text line community, 314-370-2871. Again, that's 314-370-2871. Wow, man, I'm really struggling. Today's last episode for the week, because tomorrow I'm heading out to San Diego to Petco Field. It's where who plays on Petco Field? Dustin? The Padres. Padres play on Petco Field. So tomorrow I'm graduating my marketing course, Billy Gina's marketing. I've been in this class for probably about a year, I guess. I do marketing classes every Tuesday morning. But anyway, the graduation's this week till Thursday, so I'm heading out to San Diego tomorrow for that graduation. Super excited about that. Should be a lot of fun, but that means no Clicks and Bricks the rest of this week. So, moving on. Today's episode is sponsored by Inlink.com. Rapport made easy. My Inlink.com account is inlink.com/Ken. Go to Inlink.com and create your free account today before your name is taken. They go fast, so but right now there's still a lot of good first name, last name combination stuff available. It's a social media aggregator, so you can put all your social media profiles. It works as a basic website for a company. That way you can have your Instagram, Facebook, Twitter all in one place. Moving on to today's first story, charging stations. So Biden wants more electric vehicles on the road, right? But what about charging stations? We just heard the other day about the trucks, long-haul truckers being the first ones to be autonomous, right? And autonomous is going to be a lot of electric cars and the autonomous stuff, right? So I think long-term is going to be the long-haul truckers that have to go to battery first. They're going to be the biggest bang for the buck, and it's going to make sure that we have the highway charging stations in place before retail users or residential users, light-duty vehicles, start needing those stations in more places. I also think it's a great business opportunity for for gas stations to start adding those. It'd be like almost a destination spot because people with electric vehicles have to go to those locations. But Biden asked for $15 billion. He got $7.5 billion to help build out this infrastructure for charging stations nationwide. Long term, not really sure where we're going to end up with electric vehicles, but we might. I think they're going to be self-charging solar. They're going to be charging as you're driving. They're going to be able to put the strips in the roads and then charge them while you're driving. I'm not sure that a giant investment into charging stations nationwide is the right move long term, whereas new technology might be just right around the corner to solve a lot of these problems. I think I'd rather see different technology deployed to these charging stations, because the charging stations, I don't know about you, the gas station is like my weak point, man. If I stop to get gas, I run in, I might get a couple beers, I might get a little Debbie cake. Like, stopping for gas, if I can not stop at the gas station, if I can just avoid that at all, my life is healthier in general. So I hope if they're trying to fix the environment, they're also trying to fix the American diet problem also, and start putting healthy snacks at these charging stations. That would be that'd be phenomenal. Anyway, moving on. Good job, Biden, for pushing for more charging stations. I think it's a good move for the country. We need them. I just don't know if it's the right move long term. I think there's probably better technology that we can charge while we're driving, or they just perpetually stay charged. So, but that is a major infrastructure play, and it would only be viable along with the stations, right? The stations are only viable on long highways, right? Once you get into rural areas, I mean, yeah, charging stations happen there too, but building out that infrastructure in rural areas where you have less demand is a big challenge. So It's hard to see what those little places are. It might just be like one or two little stations, right? They don't have to be these big, quick trip kind of gas stations like we have today. Interesting to see what that's going to bring, and what the demand is going to, the market's going to bring to us for those charging stations. Moving on to the next story, Microsoft is ready to rent Windows 365 cloud PCs for as little as $20 per month. What this is going to do, it's going to let you stream Windows 7 or Windows 10 or Windows 11 through the browser. So this is primarily a corporate play. So you have your company goes to Microsoft and they buy, a bunch of instances of Office 3 or Windows 365 cloud PC, and instead of you having a physical computer inside your office, you have a virtual computer inside the cloud. That way, the only thing you need is a browser to get to it. So I think Hosterian's been doing this for years, right? And Microsoft's been doing this for years. So this is just a new spin on the same old, but they're really bringing it through the browser, which I think is what they were talking about yesterday when they were talking about having new technology for remote desktop. Streaming it through the browser has been more challenging. We do it with, we call it with remote desktops, right? There's remote desktop for Windows and there's remote desktops. Remote desktops lets you stream applications through your browser, which is really great. If you can set it up and you have the bandwidth and you have the processing power on your terminal server, then streaming applications through the browser is phenomenal. There's an unlimited amount of things that you can do whenever you have that flexibility. It's a good move for Microsoft. I think it's kind of I don't know if it's a great move for Microsoft. I think they would still be better off leasing the operating systems to infrastructure players like us and letting hosting providers provide that infrastructure to the client. But they want to have the competition for that infrastructure play as well. So they're not only the software play, but they're also the infrastructure play. Whereas a company like Hosterian, we're just the infrastructure play, right? But the benefit of going with us is that you get to choose what infrastructure you want to play on. And so there can be cost benefits to that as well. But as low as $20 a month, you're going to get a pretty crappy little PC for $20. You're going to get 2 virtual CPUs, 4 gig of RAM, and 128 gigs of storage, right? But if you're a secretary and you're not doing much, you're keeping a couple spreadsheets and use that on Google Drive, I think that's probably okay. Not sure the need or how well it's going to fly long for big companies, right? It's probably a great solution for 5 to 10 employees, 20 employees maybe. After that, it's going to get a little more cumbersome with file sharing and stuff like that, knowing where your PCs are. Once you go virtual PCs, and you have 2 PCs that need to talk to each other or talk to a centralized printer, that gets a little complicated. So I'm sure Microsoft 365 has that figured out. Without that, with us today, it would be like a pretty complicated VPN solution, right? We would take and connect all of your end users together with a VPN of some kind. So anyway, moving on to the next story. What should you know about the Google Play Store changes? This is huge, actually. For the average end user, you're not going to see any difference in the Google Play Store at all. But we're moving from APK to AAB, right? And AABs were introduced in 2009, which is a huge step forward. And basically the difference, and I'll try to break this down for the layman just as simple as possible. Right now, if you download Candy Crush on your phone, you download all, I'm at like level 4,000 something. You download all 6,000 different levels, right, in that APK. Not only do you download all 6,000 levels, you download all the configuration for every screen size that it's compatible on, every operating system is compatible on, every version of the operating system of Android that it's compatible on, along with different drivers for different processors, different cameras, different microphones. The entire package is bundled and given off in the APK, whereas the ABB only hands you the data that you need for your specific device. So if you're on a large screen, then you're going to get the larger backgrounds. If you're on a small screen, you're going to get the smaller backgrounds. If you are on level 1 of Candy Crush, you're going to download level 1 of Candy Crush. And whenever you beat it, it's going to start downloading level 2 of Candy Crush, if that's the way they designed the ABB. So is huge, so that you can get into a game, you can start playing it right away. You don't have to let the whole thing download. As we're integrating with more robust applications with more data in them, then these applications are going to continue to get bigger, and be able to offload some of that workload and keep it in the cloud and only be working on the workload that I need on my phone is going to be huge later on, because these phones, I mean, the technology is getting really great, but they're still getting hot. They still, if you use your phone all day, you're really testing it, putting it to its limits. You know that as well. So you've seen it with your phone. It gets hot, breaks down, starts getting flaky. So if we can offload some of that processing power to the cloud and only have what we need on our phone when we need it, that's a fantastic solution. But again, for the end user, not going to be any changes at all. For the developer, the top 100 apps on the Google App Play Store are already APP. So, and they're going to continue to support the APKs for now that have already been submitted, but no longer will you be able to submit on September. Do you know the date? Starting August 2021, so this month, you will not be able to even publish an APK to the Google Store. We probably need to tell our Upwork developers that if they're still working on. I know that we're working on an app that was originally an APK, but I'm not going to be able to put that out there anymore. Do you trust reviews? This is crazy shit. So Amazon sellers have been caught. It's been uncovered that Amazon sellers are reaching out to people to give them bad reviews and offering them basically bribes. They're bribing them to delete negative reviews or update negative reviews. And in some cases, they're doing it for greater than the original product value. So, I mean, if you're a scandalous person, I guess you could just buy stuff and start giving them bad reviews negatively, just even if you like the product, to try to get some money back or get some bribes. It's a pretty shitty thing to do, but I think that's what people are doing out there. It kind of tears the whole trust factor of Amazon as a whole, right? I think Google's got a pretty hard stance on not deleting negative reviews. Google just doesn't do it. I don't think Facebook does either, right? So if you've got a bad Facebook review or a bad Google review, it's just out there. So Amazon, I think, probably needs to step up and do something to prevent sellers from bribing sellers from bribing their clients to give them good reviews. I know I do some review sites where I buy something, I leave an honest review, and then I get my money back, or I get some money back. There's a bunch of different Amazon deals like that you can sign up for, and it's fun. It's fun to do. I don't do it a lot, but occasionally I do. But that's just incentivizing me to do a review, and I think I'm okay with that. Man, incentivizing me to delete a bad review, unless they really solve my problem, I think is a bad practice. If they came back and they said, hey, I really hate that you gave us a bad review, what can we do to make it better? I said, well, I can't change if the shipping was bad, I can't change that, my opinion there. But, fixing my problem will probably give you a good review. And then I would still say, hey, this happened, and then they've resolved the problem, therefore I'll do business with them again. I think in the business world today, people assume everything's going to be done 100% correctly or 100% the way they anticipate it the first time, which is what every business owner should be attempting to do for sure, but it doesn't always happen that way. What you really should judge a company on is when you have a problem, how do they react to it? How do they overcome it? How do they make it right for you? And if they can't do that, then yeah, you probably shouldn't do business with them again. But I know I've been doing business for several years, and I have friends that I do business with, and occasionally they even screw up, and it gets a little heated sometimes, but giving them the opportunity to come back and make it right, I think people should do that before they even leave a review, right? Because that's a huge part of the review process. Moving on to our last topic of the day, and then I just got one tip for you. I'm going to try to add daily tips into this podcast. Something funny happened to me the other day, and I use a technique that I learned a long time ago. But anyway, the last topic for today is Britney Spears is 39 years old. That's all. I really thought she was my age. That makes me feel bad. I thought we were the same age. I'm way older than Britney. She's 39. She just got her first freaking iPad, right? So she's had what she calls a little phone. I'm not sure what that means. If it's a little touchscreen phone, like an Apple, like an old, what was it, Apple 5 or something maybe? Because she calls it a little phone. She doesn't say what brand she has, but she gets an iPad. She posts an Instagram story. She says it's life-changing. I mean, some of these quotes that she says, my life does seem different with an iPad. I've never had one before. PSSSS, I was proud of my new shoes at the end. I had to recreate the scene from Bridesmaids. Oh, we just completely skipped the story. Where did it go? All right, I did skip a story, so that's not the last story. So, Britney, congratulations on your iPad. I'm expecting a ton of TikToks from you, Britney. I want to see them. I want to see them all day long. I'm upset that you're way younger than me. I thought that was a different story. Because I remember being a kid. Well, I guess I wasn't a kid when I was watching her. So I did have appropriate thoughts on those. Man, okay. Anyway, my sense of time is horrible. The other thing that we're going to talk about, and I skipped right over this one, AMC is going crypto. AMC says that customers will soon be able to buy tickets and concessions with Bitcoin through an app. So I've not been to the movies much in the last 20 years, right? I mean, maybe a handful of movies that I've gone to the theaters and seen in the last 20 years. And I've really enjoyed the ones where I can sit down and they got the waitress coming to you. But I think I'm going to love just being able to hit an app and be able to buy product and have it just shipped to my seat. And either be a waitress or like, one of those bank tubes could shoot me some nachos, I'm sure. That would be great. But they're also going to do Google Play, Apple Pay, probably Samsung Pay. I love the quote. I don't think I'm going to be able to find the quote. But basically the quote from I guess it was one of their technology people at AMC says he's had to learn more about cryptocurrency in the last 6 months than he had to learn about anything else in the past year or something like that. So it was a pretty cool quote. Anyway, tip of the day. So this happens to me quite a bit. Not as much anymore. It happened to me a lot when I was younger. I have a much more calm demeanor now that I've aged a little bit. If you're in a meeting and you don't feel like it's going anywhere, just leave. Just get up and walk out, and then re-engage that later. Once you get to the point to where you do not believe that anything productive is happening anymore, that this is now just an argument, it is very simple to just stand up and leave, and then re-engage with that person at a different time. Maybe with an HR person involved as well, but anytime you're in that and you feel the situation gets heated, you're not going to come to some kind of resolve that day. Instead of what I used to do all the time, we bunker down and get into fight mode and be like, no, I'm going to win this fight. This is a fight, I have to win it. And I thought that was the case with every single fight that came across my table. Not the case. You can just walk away. You don't have to do them. So anyway, that's it for today, folks. Again, if you want to join, man, I can't say join. My text line community number is 314-370-2871. I will send you tips, tricks like the little one that I just gave out via text message. I'll never try to sell you anything on that text line. That is it for today, folks. Get to work.